honestly don't don't know how I feel anymore, or I'm unsure if I should have decided to rejoin now. But basically last Sunday I went to church, or this past Sunday I went to church, and the pastor was talking about how they needed more people to serve, and he did specifically talk about like musicians and other areas the church needed. And I feel like he said something that made me feel called out, and that was, he was like, some of y'all were took a break and then just never came back. And I felt called out by that, because that was kind of exactly what I had done. Like, I took a break from being on the worship team. Well, really, I had to because of COVID in 2020. So I just remember I wasn't on the worship team very long, but between like October of 2019, for around 6 months, I was on it. And then COVID happened, and the lockdown happened, and then I kind of never was in the loop when they got scheduled again. Then I moved away to Noonan for like a year, and I came back, but I was working in Atlanta and was always scheduled to work on weekends. But I actually do now have a job where I do have the availability to serve and volunteer on the weekends, because I only work Monday through Friday. So I just felt like I couldn't really make an excuse to not join, other than the kind of excuse was I didn't feel like I was ready, or I wasn't in like the best place mentally or spiritually, and didn't feel like I should be participating or be in a leadership role at the church. Because being on the worship team, you're still considered a worship leader, even if you're not the worship leader. I don't know, I just didn't feel like I was in the best place spiritually. But then I realized it's almost making an excuse for yourself, and saying like, oh, I have to wait till all of these things, like I have to wait till I'm doing something better before I can serve or give back or do whatever. And I feel like it's really not about that. Like, obviously someone who's new to church altogether is probably not going to jump into being on the worship team, but this is an area I've served on before, and I do feel like there's almost like I have some nervousness about being on it, because I just remember, like, before I took my break. Well, really, it wasn't like a break. I was like, I just really didn't have the availability anymore. I was very unsure I didn't feel like I was really a part of the team. And I didn't feel super connected to the church either. And I was like trying so hard to get involved in all of these different areas. I was volunteering on the serve team, and wherever they needed volunteers, I was actively, because at the time I was my grandmother's full-time caregiver, so I did have a lot of free time, but I could work around that. But it was also still like I felt very alone at the time, so I wanted to be more involved in something where I felt like I was could make some friends, and also just missed being more involved in church, and also missing singing and everything else. But it didn't really pan out how I'd hoped, so I kind of just forgot about it. And I definitely feel like even if I join right now, I kind of want to be like more just in the background. Like, I don't want felt like I needed to not make excuses for myself anymore. I shouldn't make any excuses for myself and should just, step out in faith. And basically, the girl I used to serve on the team, I think she might be the new worship leader for the church all together. She messaged me today that she was going to call me, and I didn't see her message until after. So, and then I was actually already on a phone call with my mom, setting up the electricity for the house in my name and having my mom be on it. Whatever. I was on the phone for that, and I hadn't checked my messages. I'm honestly very bad at checking text messages on my phone. I forget to check them a lot. So I definitely could have made that call with her, but then I would have missed the call regardless because I ended up being on the phone with my mom at that time. But if I had seen the message in advance, I could have told my mom, like, oh, wait till I have this phone call and planned around it. But whatever, it happened. But I almost wasn't expecting to hear back. But she remembered me from being on the team. So she knows, like, I have some experience, but it's also been a very, very long time. And I just feel like I said, I just feel like I don't know if I'm truly ready, but you can't let fear stop you from doing things. And it's like, I do love singing, and I do love worship, and I do love ministry and all of that stuff. But I don't know, you can love all those things, and I still feel like I don't know if it's the right time for me, or if this is where I should be serving. But I guess we're gonna give it a second try and just see how it goes. And like I said, I'm not gonna try to do too much. I'm not gonna try to, like, I don't know, just I don't know. I don't want to have, like, expectations of, anything, but just being there to support the team when needed and not make it about anything else. That's just the mentality I want to have about it. So, yeah. Excuse me. I don't know why I just lost my voice. That's pretty much the update for the worship team, because that was something I've been kind of thinking about, but I was like thinking about it, but then never took any actions or steps. And thoughts without actions are just thoughts. So we put some action to the thought, and now we might be joining the worship team again at my church. So we'll see. I did respond to her asking if there's another time she was available, since I definitely missed the time today. So we'll see if she responds or when she responds.